Hi, students, and happy Monday. This is the first week for lesson cycle 4, and I want to talk briefly about grades are due this week for your progress reports. So they'll be going out, and remember that P is for passing, obviously. F is for fix it, or you're currently needs some more work there. So it was failing at the time, but definitely can be fixed. So resubmit that work to me. And then missing, those of you who are missing, we don't have any grades for you. So that would not look good on your progress report. So if you get this video and you can submit any of that work, that would be super helpful, especially those of you who are graduating or trying to graduate. We want to make sure that we get all of the P's in place so that happens, even though graduation may look a little different this year. I'm coming to you from my house, and my neighbor has decided to be very loud and creative today, and these are some of the fun tales of the quarantine, my friends. So if you hear any screaming or the loud classical music, that is my neighbor, who is just a short few feet away from the window for my dining room. That nice close living in the quarantine. But nonetheless, hopefully I'm coming to you and you are having a better experience in the quarantine than I am. It's been rather challenging with my neighbor. But enough said on that, and I just wanted to make you aware so in case he yells or something happens, you'll know. So this is our lesson for cycle 4. We're moving into it, and it's right down here. Our Zoom class this week will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you're interested in showing up, that'd be fantastic. We would love for you to come, and that way I can meet with you and answer any questions you have, because we have kind of a different lesson this week. The first week we did presidential addresses, and then we moved and segued into the project that we're doing now, which is we're in phase 3 of a 5-phase project. And so this is where we are right now for lesson 4. So if you want to go and see what all this lesson is about and have all the links and everything are here on the district lesson, which you may have seen on the Invest to Learn. And you're always welcome to go there, because again, it tells you exactly what it wants you to do, what you should turn in, what it should look like, all of that good stuff. But we're going to look at the phase 3 and this is the first page of our PowerPoint. So let's go to view and we'll present this thing. So we are looking this week at developing an understanding of advertising techniques. And so part of this process is to look at the usage of advertisements and the different types of marketing that people use. The organizations that use advertisements you might find yourself working with someday if you were to pursue this field in advertising. There would be all different things from non-religious things that are for profit, and then other things that are non-for-profit organizations, government organizations, all different kinds of things. But if you don't find yourself working in the area of advertising, it's important that you'll know how it works. So some of this is included. Let's see, maybe not some of this beautiful artwork. So I'm going to try to, no. This is a mini lesson, so I'll just move it down to where you can see. These are the TEKs that we're covering, and propaganda techniques is the use of a variety of communication techniques that create an appeal. And we've talked about appeals before, like logos and ethos and pathos, which are the 3 main appeals that we deal with. And to accept a particular belief or opinion, to perform a particular action, or to purchase a particular product are going to be those reasons that we use those different types of appeals. And this week, you'll learn a few types of propaganda techniques that you see every day in advertising all the time, and they're helpful in understanding how it is that how we see advertisements and what appeals to people. Okay, so I think propaganda has been used in somewhat of a negative connotation to you up until now. But now we're using it as basically a technique to get people to purchase or believe, because not every product, as some things that you probably bought before in your past, has been everything it promised to be. So your assignment will be to explore these 6 types of propaganda techniques. This is where we are down here on the bottom. And you will be coming up with an example, finding me a commercial, attaching this example, and then you'll create a Padlet. So we'll talk about the Padlet in just a bit, but I want to talk about these particular, let me hold that. These particular types or techniques rather of propaganda. So you got the bandwagon effect, and that just shows everybody's doing it. So you got to jump on the bandwagon. And this was the actual bandwagon that people were referencing back in the day when they used this term, but you still hear it today because it's kind of like you'll hear the bandwagon if like a sports team, say the Cowboys are winning, and then all of a sudden everybody's on the bandwagon to suddenly be a sports fanatic for the Dallas Cowboys. But up until the time before, when they maybe weren't doing so well or struggling, they weren't with everybody. So you'll sometimes hear that terminology of the bandwagon. But anyway, here's going to be an advertisement that you can watch and you'll see and learn a little bit about what that looks like. And then we're going to go into the next one, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to try to pause this. So celebrity endorsements. So we see this all the time, that celebrities like a particular product, and if they like it and they promote it, that a lot of people will be seen with it or wear it or eat it or consume it in some way simply because they like the celebrity that endorsed it. So these are all different things for, but this was about the Spark commercial that Drake did. So you can watch that video when you click into your PowerPoint. And then when we look at the emotional appeals, obviously you can see there's a dog there. So it's going to be a boy and his dog. It's a Chevy commercial. We've talked about this in class about different commercials that pull in the heartstrings. And we talked about this after, if you remember, after we watched the Super Bowl, or if some people watched the Super Bowl, but we specifically looked at ads then. So this would be that emotional appeal at any time. We see this a lot right now. There's a lot of emotional appeals, particularly right now, showing a lot of the heroes that are in hospitals that are working really hard to help a lot of these people who are sick with the coronavirus. And so everything from that to animals right now that are at the ASPCA, they're showing a lot of ads right now because they need help, they need funding, they need people to volunteer at this particular time because us being in the quarantine and or being in the shelter in place, that it makes it more difficult for people to take care of the animals. And trying to get people to adopt when people aren't going out anywhere is really difficult. So all the animals are just stuck there. So they would be using these emotional type of appeals to access their audience. And the next one, let me go ahead and pause this one, is going to be about ads that show how a product is natural or good or organic or healthy for us and the environment and things like that. So it's what we call up here. Let me move this for you so you can see that, well, it didn't let me do it. Appeals to your sense of nature. So let me pause this. Okay. So they are natural appeal or scenes of nature. Okay. And let's go to this next one. And we've got a lot of videos this week, so I've got to pause. So ads that make you laugh are using wit and humor. They have a laugh and feel happy about the product. So eat more chicken. The Doritos commercials in the Super Bowl that you sometimes see will be things that are just funny or silly. The Sonic commercials, those two guys that try to sell stuff are trying to be funny about the different products. So here's one that you can look at that we may or may not have shown in class. I think some of my classes saw this one, the Super Bowl commercial with Jason Momoa. So you can look at that one. And then we'll go into the next slide, and I'll pause this. So this one are looking for price appeal or free gifts. So we like to get money off of things. We like to get discounts, or I know that when my husband and I purchased our phones, the phones were buy one get one free for the iPhone 8. So we both got a phone for the price of one. So sometimes you'll see the buy one get one free or the BOGO. So the buy one get one. And then sometimes you'll just see percentages off, or they'll be giving you something and as some type of price appeal. Okay. And then when we're looking at the propaganda techniques, which works best on you, who and what are you most influenced by is something you should think about in reflection, considering which technique might work best to advertise the new product or service that you've created that you'll work on in this next week. So what we're thinking about is really exploring the techniques, knowing and being able to identify what each one is. And so you'll give me a little sample, and then you'll talk about it in a description for each one of them on the Padlet. So let's talk about what a Padlet looks like. All right. So let me exit out of here and take us back to the professional communications. And then we have this Padlet link right here. And if I take you to Padlet, it's basically just going to ask me to sign in. And then I would be signing in with my account. So what you're doing with yours is just you'll sign in and then you'll create a little Padlet and it'll walk you through it. It's really, really simple and easy to do. So if you have questions, feel free to email me, but you're going to possibly go through these slides again if you need to. We just went through them together, and so that you'll know the 6 types of the propaganda if you need to go back through and take notes and write them down so you'll be able to know what to put in your Padlet. And then you create that Padlet with the description. Just keep in mind that you're not going to email me with the information this week. You're going to send that information through our lovely Moodle. Just to take a Word document and put your link to your Padlet in the Word document. And that's all that you have to do is have a plain white sheet of virtual paper with the link on it and send it. Why I don't want you to send it to my email is that if 100 people sent things to your email, then that's 100 emails that I had to try to answer and find and log and let you know. So this is the easiest way is for you just to put that link for me to the Padlet in Moodle, and then that way I'll know. If you want to create anything further, you're welcome to do that. If you have trouble with the Padlet, you can create something else similar to the Padlet that maybe is a PowerPoint that has the commercial and then the description if you're uncomfortable with the Padlet feel. But nonetheless, that's what you'll be doing is for the assignment. So if you have any questions or just want to talk it over with me, tomorrow I'll be available at 1 p.m. in the Zoom classroom, and it's right here. If you want to go, you'll link here, and here's the password to get in once you go. I would love to see you all, so please come to the class tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But just know that we miss you guys and hang in there. It's going to be another good week. The weather is starting to get pretty and spring is sprung. So there are some good things that are to look forward to. But keep the social distancing and get yourself some of that spring air. Take a walk, hang out in your backyard, something like that. My neighbors now stopped the music. That's wonderful. So hopefully I can enjoy my afternoon. And it was great to see all of you virtually. I know that I'm not seeing you, but you're seeing me. So I like to think of all your little faces out there possibly watching this video. And I miss you guys. So have a good week. Also, don't forget that the way that you submit, I almost left you guys, and then I forgot to tell you this part in my goodbye. This is that little add submission. So at the bottom of every assignment, there'll be an add submission, and that's where you'll add your little white piece of virtual paper with your link on it. So I forgot to add that, but I wanted to add that one bit. Thank you guys so much. See you soon.